to not take a whole bunch of notes because we are going to send you this deck probably an hour after we finish. So you'll have a lot of this information, um, you know, sent to you. But again, feel free to ask questions along the way. I also want to just let you know, we primarily ask that you stay muted and ask questions via the chat. And the reason for this is because we have a lot to cover. Um, a lot of information. We have a lot of benefits and things coming up. So, however, as we go into the presentation, if there's questions that there's like a follow-up or something like that, or we have a little bit of extra time, I will definitely ask you to unmute and share your question comments with everybody. We also are recording this webinar orientation, and it will be available along with a lot of the other orientations that we've done on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you that link with this deck and so forth. So welcome, welcome. I see we have someone from Ohio. Welcome, Nikki. Keisha, thank you for joining. Someone from Santa Clarita, Patrick from San Diego, fantastic. And Adriana, Long Beach, perfect. We have a special guest from Long Beach. And Amy, thank you so much for joining from Orange County. Welcome. Um, so what I'd like to get started with is just sharing an agenda. We're in the welcome segment, and I'll give you a little bit of an update in terms of where we are with our chapters and what's been going on lately. We want to focus on you and what you need from this orientation. What is the information that you need so that you can get the most out of your membership, so that we can help you continue to progress in your career? So start thinking about what is that number one thing you want to walk away from. Now, in the poll, you'll get to choose one thing, but if there's multiple things you want to learn about, just put it in the chat, and we will definitely um, uh, address that. If there is a question, for example, that I have to do some research on, I will let you know. And also, if there's a question that's very specific to you, I might invite you to schedule some time with me so that we can talk separately. And because, for example, some things around HR certification can be very specific to the individual. So I think that's best for another kind of separate conversation. But I do like to talk about HR certification, and I'll share as much as I can. So that's what the poll is for. But always use the chat to ask additional questions or comment or whatever you. Then I'd like to introduce myself a little bit more. You see, my name is Liliana Arguello. You can always call me Lily. I'll give you some more insight into me. I'll have Elisette here, who's on my team, introduce herself. And then we have our special guest, Oscar Velasco, who'll spend some time introducing himself and talking a little bit about his experience with PIHRA. Then we'll go into a PIHRA overview, member benefits, learning and networking at PIHRA, and a wrap up. Now, in these last 3, 4 bullets, this is where I really focused in on what you wanted to get out of today. So if I start speeding through something, it's because I noticed that the majority of you wanted to hit a certain point. And so that's why. But again, I'm always available. We are here to help the community, our HR community in Southern California, get the professional development they need, get the connections they need, and get the other types of support that they need to grow their career. So that's the agenda. Let's get it going here. General update. So really excited. As a result of the pandemic, we are doing a lot of virtual learning now. So, for example, and the webinars that we're offering are free for members. So that's a great bonus. You're getting at least $300 worth of value in the free webinars that we're offering, and we're offering up to 3 per month. So really excited about that. Currently, our PIHRA chapters are hosting in-person meetings. So many of them had gone virtual or a little dark during the pandemic because everyone had kind of a shift in their time commitment. But now many are meeting monthly, and the look of the meetings has changed. So, for example, and Oscar, you could talk a little bit about that. If you like, but a great example is PIHRA North OC. So Amy, you're in Orange County. Not sure if you're in South Orange County or North Orange County, but North Orange County, they used to meet at the same time every month, same day of the month. Before the pandemic. So that's changed a little bit now, and I think it's exciting. Now what they're doing is they'll have they'll have one of their kind of more traditional meetings, so a breakfast meeting 1 month. The next month they'll do a social, and then the next month they'll do kind of a lunch, social slash educational event. So the pandemic really introduced some new learning channels for us, and really brought up the fact that not everyone can meet at the same time, and people are really diverse. Um, so I'm really happy to let you know that we have a lot of chapter meetings going on. There should be something going on in your neck of the woods uh, every month, and maybe a couple things going on. Also, the main place, if you're looking for a chapter event or a PIHRA or association-wide event, is go to the calendar at pihra.org/calendar. I think you'll also be able to find it if you're on the website, pihra.org. Go to attend and events calendar or full events calendar. You'll see everything that we have going on there, and you could register for it, and things of that sort. So that's where we're at. And we're continuing to do both in-person and virtual conferences and things of that sort, which I'll get into in a little bit. So now, like I mentioned, I want to hear from you. So Elisette, my fantastic coworker, is launched a poll. So what is the information that you're interested in receiving during this webinar? I want you to think about what is that one, what are those two things that I really need to know so that either I can get the most out of this membership, or I can make a really informed decision if I'm not a member to become a member. So I'm going to be quiet. But just know that there's only one choice here, but if you have a second number two, just put it in the chat. Did I just disappear the poll, or was that me? I can't see the poll anymore, so let me know how it's going, Elisette.
Yeah, it's still going. We have 9 people that have responded out of 14.
All right, let's get 100% participation. Let's hear what you're looking for. Oh, here we go. Okay, lots wanted to learn about the monthly meetings and seminars. We got some HR certification and probably PIHRA SHRM. How are we connected? Let's see. Any more votes here? One more vote came in. Benefits. All right, let's give it another 30 seconds. There's 2 people that haven't voted. I don't know if it's us, but maybe it's us. Fantastic. You know what I love about these polls is that every group has kind of a different slant on what they want to hear about. So this is fantastic. All right, let's shut it down and share the results. Can you all see the results? So 33% monthly meetings, 33% PIHRA conferences and seminars, and then 17 HR certification, and then we got some people interested in PIHRA benefits, which I'll cover, and the PIHRA SHRM relationship. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and get that out of the way. Are we good to go? I'm going to go on to the next slide. All right, So just want to introduce myself a little bit more, and Elisa, I want her to introduce herself. So I'm there in the middle, and what's really fantastic about my tenure here at PIHRA is that I was a member of PIHRA before I ever dreamed of being on staff. I started my career in organizational development. So I was doing organizational assessment, strategic planning, uh, corporate culture studies, structure studies, and really wanted to go internal because I was in the consulting area. And so I knew about SHRM, I knew about PIHRA, so that's how I started getting involved. And I actually joined PIHRA Long Beach, Oscar.
Oh,
Oscar is our
cool.
chair from PIHRA Long Beach, and I was welcomed there. And my career kind of took a different direction. I didn't go in that direction. I went actually into the nonprofit area, and I got recruited over from to PIHRA from the Girl Scouts of Greater LA, where I was in membership doing mostly partnership building in the inner city. So I see Girl Scouts as one of the largest leadership development programs for women and girls. So it kind of was a segue. And Rafael Rivera, who I introduced you to, he's our CEO. He found me on LinkedIn. So have a so lessons learned there is you never know where you're going to end up. And two, have a very strong LinkedIn profile. And three, um, the reason I came up for Rafael is because I had been a leader at another professional association. And so
Mm,
he knew someone that I knew from that professional association. That's how I came up. So lesson number three, volunteer leadership is very important and can lead to your next job. And I love my job. I love working with the PIHRA members and the PIHRA community. And I'm very accessible. I have a personal commitment, an expectation of myself that if you email me or call me, email's best because I will definitely respond quick. I want to get back to you within 24 hours. And that's kind of what I share with my team too. So a little bit about me. I'm going to unmute and let Elisette introduce herself. Thanks, Elisette.
Thanks, Lily. Hi, everyone. I am Elisette Sapien. I am the membership coordinator here at PIHRA. And I have a background in journalism and also public relations. And I think over the course of the years that I've been here at PIHRA, it's been a great marriage between the two. My writing background and then working in membership services, and it's been a great experience bringing the two together. And yeah, like Lily mentioned, we're very accessible. I'm usually the first person you get to speak to if you dial the main number, and I see a familiar name, Mary Beth. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the orientation. Me and Mary Beth emailed back and forth a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, I'm excited. I'll be monitoring the chat box during the webinar, so feel free to ask us questions. We'll be stopping from time to time to answer them. So thanks, everyone. And I'll hand it back to Lily.
Great. Yes, Elisette is the first person you're going to meet. She's our chief, what is it?
I think it
Uh,
was Director of First Impressions or
yeah,
something.
chief of first impressions, and she's fantastic. So if you ever need anything and I'm not available, you can go to her. We really do our best to provide fantastic customer service. So I talked a little bit about leadership and volunteer leadership, and so I want to introduce you here to the person on it's my left, Matthew Pallets. Matt, he is my liaison with the board. So we are a nonprofit 501c6, so an association. And so he represents the PIHRA membership and PIHRA chairs on the board. He's very accessible and he's a great connector. So if anyone is interested in really getting connected in the HR community, he's a great resource. And you could always look for us at one of the upcoming seminars or conferences, and maybe even at a local meeting, and I'll introduce you to him and to whoever I can, because that's what this is about. So next, I'm going to have Oscar. Welcome, Oscar. I'm so glad you're here with us. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, thank you so much, Lily. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Oscar Velasco. I am actually the chair of PIHRA Long Beach. So, any people around in and around PIHRA Long Beach, welcome. Welcome everyone, right? Little bit background about me. I currently work at LBS Financial Credit Union, local credit union here in Long Beach, and I oversee their business development for them. So I'm not particularly in HR, but I work with a lot of HR people. So what brought me to PIHRA, right? Specifically PIHRA Long Beach. When I first got it started at at my I was in the banking background. I have a banking background, been in banking for over 23 years now. And when I first started at my current employer, LBS Financial Credit Union, I was talking to a HR manager, one of my contacts that I reached out to because we had a relationship with our company did. And in talking to her, one day she just happened to tell me about PIHRA, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to reach out to other HR individuals, so this might be something that I would like to attend. Fast forward, I started attending some events. We ended up actually our company ended up sponsoring. We still are a sponsor of PIHRA Long Beach. And one day I was approached by the board chair. Her name was Janet. And she approached me to see if I during the meeting, she asked if anyone wanted to volunteer on a committee. They were having a social, right? They were having a social and asked for volunteers to look for the place and just get people involved. So I'm like, you know what? I've always been the type of person that when I get involved in something, I like to go all in and just get more involved if possible. So I reached out and say, hey, I'll be interested. And next thing you know, a year and a half later, I actually joined the board, became the vice chair, and now I'm the chair. I currently been the chair of PIHRA Long Beach for the last 2 years. I was vice chair previous to that. So I've been a PIHRA member for about 7 years now. Um, how's it impacted? It's impacted me greatly, actually, because I've met so many, not only people that I'm able to network. I think something that a lot of people forget about PIHRA is the power of networking. Honestly, I have met so many not only great people, friends that I call now, but anytime I have a question, I have different resources to call. And also something that, I take pride in as well as for my job is when other HR people reach out to me and say, hey, do you happen to know someone, an expert in this particular field, in this HR topic? I pretty much could kind of guide them on their, kind of guide them, kind of refer them to the right person. So that's also been very beneficial to my career. As you join PIHRA, as you go out to the networking events, as you go out to the socials, the different chapter meeting, you will see the amount of just intelligence in the room when it comes to HR. There is a professional at every level there. They start from a generalist to a specialist to HR manager to a HR director. So you'll see all of them. I mean, one of my great stories for PIHRA Long Beach is we a couple years ago prior to COVID, we had a young lady come in, and during our chapter meetings, our programs, we actually allow for people to stand up and introduce themselves if they're a first time guest, if they're in search of an opportunity. And in this case, a young lady stood up looking for an opportunity. She had just graduated from Cal State Long Beach, and she said, hey, I'm interested in an opportunity. I'll take whatever I could get. And just like it just so happened that another lady was in the room, and she's like, you know what, I have a opportunity for a generalist. If you want to start off, let's talk. They switched information. A couple of months later, she got employed. I was actually pretty impressed by that. She shared the story a few months later with me, and it was really impressive, just the impact of PIHRA. So, and I'm sure there's so many other stories like that. So
I love those
also
stories. I love those stories, Oscar. I need a name after the webinar. Like who we need to interview her.
yeah, I gotta find her because I know she moved out of the area. I want to
Okay.
say she moved. She ended up taking that job, but then she got married and she ended up moving away. So
Okay.
kind of lost track of her. Also, on volunteer opportunities, like I mentioned, I started just on a small committee looking for a social mixer, and it was just like basically looking for a venue, kind of promoting the, you know, promoting the event, things of that nature. So don't be afraid to volunteer. It's always good to get involved. You meet so many great people. So, and it's very easy too. I mean, sometimes a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, volunteer. I don't have time. I have family, I have kids." Trust me, I have a family. I have kids. I'm the soccer coach during the weekend. So at the time I was a baseball coach and all that good stuff. And you just find time. Sometimes just a little extra commitment. It'll be great for you. It'll be great. Talking about volunteer opportunities, if you are in the Long Beach area, PIHRA Long Beach does have a few openings. We are looking for a secretary. We also are looking for a program chair. Our program chair is currently transitioning out of state, so we will have an opening of that pretty soon. We also are just looking for just leaders that want to maybe sit on a board and just kind of watch and then take over a role at later on. So if you do have if you are in the PIHRA area, PIHRA Long Beach area, please reach out to me. Love to talk to you about the different opportunities. Little bit about more about PIHRA Long Beach. We do have a couple of events that we're having. We're actually having a joint social joint mixer with Gateway Cities coming up on September 28th. So here in a couple of weeks. We'll be meeting at Ballast Point to have a couple drinks. Beautiful view. For those of you that haven't been to Ballast Point out in Long Beach, please join us. It's a beautiful place. So we'll just be networking, having fun, very welcoming environment for everyone just to meet and greet. And I guarantee you that it'll be a great time. And I'll guarantee you'll meet a few people there that you're going to tell yourself, well, I'm glad I came out and spent, an hour or two of my time. That's going to benefit me in the future. Also, we do have our next PIHRA Long Beach program coming up on November the 16th. We typically meet, we've always met at the Grand in Long Beach. So right off the 405 there on Lakewood Boulevard, the Grand Event Center. We've always met there. Typically, we meet on the third Thursday of the month. We'll go dark on October just because of the labor law update, but we'll be back in November. So please come out and see us. If you need additional information, you could always look on the PIHRA calendar. We should have it up here in the next couple of weeks. We're just confirming our speaker, or reach out to me. Send me an email. Or send me a chat on the message, and I'd love to send you out information. Other than that, if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to ask, or add them in the chat. I'd love to answer them. But thank you for being a thank you for being a part of PIHRA Long Beach, and don't be afraid to volunteer. That I think is I meet a lot of people that are just members, and I meet a lot more people that are volunteers that love PIHRA and just get the true benefit, right? You really get the true benefit when you go all in. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Oscar. I might be kind of calling in on you to emphasize those points as we move forward too. So thank you. So excited that you're here. This is a special treat. So I want to, some of you one of you asked about the PIHRA-SHRM relationship. So I'm going to share the mission. I'm not going to read it for you, but a little bit of history. PIHRA was established in 1944. By a group of personnel managers that met for the first time in downtown Los Angeles. So if you are coming back from not having been around PIHRA for a long time, you might remember that our chapters were called districts. So that is why PIHRA Los Angeles is District 1, because that was our first chapter, and that was in 1944. Well, in 1948, the Society of Human Resource Management is established somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know if it's Indiana or Illinois or something like that. So PIHRA existed before SHRM did. Now, you probably have heard of SHRM. SHRM is now a global organization. I think they have more than 250,000 members. Wow. And more than 500 affiliates. So we are the largest SHRM affiliate in the United States. I also think we're the largest in the world, but I don't have the numbers for their affiliate in China or India. So we are two separate organizations. So there are two separate memberships. You got the SHRM membership and the PIHRA membership, and they're separate. You pay separate fees. So if you have any additional questions, please put that in the chat. I want to make sure that I address those. And I did see that in Santa Clarita, Marcel, we do have someone, Sharon Green, that we can connect you with separately. So I'll make myself a note to connect Marcel with Sharon. And what I do, if you want to get connected with a contact at one of our chapters, I'd like to send a separate email just making an e-introduction to members of that group. And they actually have, and I have a list of upcoming events that we're going to review together. So yes, I'd be delighted. So that's a little bit about the SHRM and PIHRA relationship. Again, let me know if you have any more questions. We are primarily volunteer led. So Tara Fournier is our current president of the board. She has an extensive background in HR, and she's actually also HR certified with a SPHR and a SHRM SCP. She's currently the chief people officer for Enthusiast Gaming out here in Culver City. She is fantastic. She's really led PIHRA to the next level with respect to its strategy and planning, and also kind of led us through the pandemic, which was a rough patch, and we're kind of still kind of smoothing through the aftermath of that. So she is a volunteer leader. Rafael Rivera is my boss. He's the chief executive officer, and he's staff. So remember, I told you we are the largest SHRM affiliate in the country. We also have the largest staff. So Raphael is fantastic. He brought me in. That was that story of him finding me on LinkedIn, and I really credit him for rebranding PIHRA, rebranding the. Some of you asked about our seminars and conferences. He's in 2015 or 2016. He rebranded the annual conference from the annual PIHRA conference to the California HR conference because we are California focused. I think it was Carmen asked about California recertification specific credits. I'm going to talk to you about the California Employment Law Update. That's where you can get a lot of those credits. I think up to 13 PHR California credits will be available too. And if you're an attorney, you can get MSCLE credits. So um, that's a little bit about the key players. They are always at our conferences, so and very accessible. So if you want to reach out to them, either meet them at a conference coming up or let me know and I'll make sure to connect you with them. I see a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see how that's going. Got it, got it. Oh, yes. I'll get into the chapters in a little bit. I'll hurry this along. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but this is kind of who our members are. 3,500 members, 40% are HR certified. So to our membership, HR certification is very important. Most of our members are at the HR manager level, HR business partner level. So right around 40, I think it's, can't see that very well. 43%. And I'm looking at the wrong screen. And then right around 28% are at the HR director level and above. And you can kind of see the other parameters here with respect to our member demographics. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our chapters because one of the number one questions was the monthly meetings. So we have 17 chapters, 18 if you include North County, San Diego. Most of these chapters are meeting right now. So they all have monthly meetings. Some may be having webinars one month, socials the next month, like I described North OC, and then a regular meeting. At the end of this presentation, I have a long list of the upcoming chapter meetings going on. So you'll have that in front of you and I can share some of my top picks. And then Oscar could tell you a little bit more about whatever he's got going on. So when you become a MAP member, you select a preferred chapter. So you get one preferred chapter, but you can go to any chapter meeting at the member price. So say, for example, you live in South Orange County, but you work in Long Beach. So you might decide, you know what, I'm going to make PIHRA Long Beach my preferred chapter because that's where I work and they have lunch meetings. That's the one thing love about PIHRA Long Beach. They have lunch meetings and I could go quickly to a lunch meeting from work. But some days you might want to go to a PIHRA South OC meeting. Not a problem. There is a separate fee. Usually for the chapter meetings, and that's because there's usually a meal component and there's a professional development component. Um, where you can also earn recertification credit. So we just need to pay the bills, and that's why we charge separately for that. So there's a membership fee. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And we have fees for the professional development. And the meetings, I think they range between, if it's a social, it might be 15, might be even $5 from some socials, but $15 on average to a meeting might cost $35 to $45, depending on if you register in advance. Uh, I know that there were some questions about monthly meetings, so please put any specific questions in the chat. But our largest chapter, this is what I usually like to cover, is PIHRA South OC. Before the pandemic, if you went to one of their meetings, you can expect to meet 100 HR professionals and those natural partners to the HR community, like Oscar Velasco is a natural partner to HR. He's connecting employees with or HR professionals with employee benefits that they can promote and increase their employee value proposition in that manner. We also have insurance brokers. We have staffing folks. We have 401k folks. Don't don't fear them because a lot of the times, for example, the insurance brokers, it's their job to get to know the HR community really well. So usually they're the first one to know that there's an HR director position open up. So you want to reach out to them, right, Oscar? I know I've been to
Yeah.
one of your meetings.
Yeah, I was actually going to chime in and chime in on that, Lily,
Yeah.
and also when you do become a volunteer leader, because I'm assuming everyone here is going to be a volunteer leader, right? Once you become them, those are great assets for you. Those people that work in the insurance industry, the 401k. Why? Because I know at PIHRA Long Beach, not only do we provide great education, great speakers, but we supply raffle prizes, and people love walking away with not only the value of education, but they love walking away with a $50 gift card to Amazon or a $25 gift card to Starbucks. So make sure you ask them, because sometimes they'll provide, and they'll provide you the gift cards, they'll provide you with the giveaways. So, or they'll even sponsor your events. I know I've reached out to multiple people that'll come out. They come in a monthly basis, and they'll say, hey, is it okay if I give a little 3-minute spill on my company? I'm like, sure, you can. Just bring a raffle prize, or would you like to sponsor a meeting? Right? So they'll take care of that for us. So please use them. They're a valuable asset. Don't be scared. I've never run into the situation, but I always tell my members at PIHRA Long Beach, if you do find one that's maybe too aggressive, because I've heard from other chapters that there may be some, reach out to your chapter team, right? Reach out to us, and trust me that they we'll figure out something that maybe they don't come back to our meetings. But I know I've heard it from other chapters that sometimes you do get these some aggressive people, but for, I would say, 99% of them are great. I mean, and of
Yeah.
course they have a job to do, but work with them, partner up with them, and they bring lots of value. So
Yeah, and so this is the place, the monthly meetings is the place where you're going to meet people. And that's how we differentiate ourselves from SHRM here locally. SHRM has a lot of SHRM at large members, and they probably go to the annual conference or they visit their website, which is extremely robust because they have a lot of money to build a very robust website, but they don't have that local. We have the largest local HR community. So if you want to meet people who you might want to include in your speed dial because you just want to be able to bounce off ideas, or if something really crazy goes on at the office and you can't really speak to anybody in your team, or you just want to bring in that additional resource, this is where you're going to meet people. So there's a lot
yeah.
of richness at the chapter level. So I
You
hope
know,
that covers all the questions
Lily, really
you'll have.
quick,
Mhm.
if I could add on that, that's a great point because I have so many, I know there at PIHRA we meet so many people that, become friends. And now typically at a program, I would say about 80% of the program, people coming to that program either work or live near that chapter. So guess what? You're able to meet for lunch, right? You're able to meet for breakfast. You can meet for coffee if you have specific questions. Maybe you're looking for a new job opportunity, and guess what? Who better than talk to is another HR professional in your industry? So use that opportunity, right? We've had so many people who are like, oh, you know what? I would love to, I want to update my benefits, or I want to update my, my health insurance. Who can I talk to? And then someone will raise their hands like, hey, I just updated mine. I know the process. Let's meet for coffee. And guess what?
Yeah.
They're both in Long Beach, right? They're both local and they can meet for coffee. So that's just a great opportunity for you to grow as a person.
Yeah. Uh, Tamia, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Feel free to unmute. If not, that's okay too.
Yes.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you. So just wanted to, Tamia's question was, what's the closest chapter to Rancho Cucamonga, right? And so Inland Valley, PIHRA Inland Valley, which is over here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, they are meeting at a Rancho Cucamonga. I think they're using a corporate site for their meetings. So like Oscar said, they meet out of kind of an event space. Some of our chapters meet out of hotels. Inland Valley, because after the pandemic, a lot of the venue prices they increased. So they're using one of our members' corporate headquarters to meet. And then we also have PIHRA Riverside. They meet out of downtown Riverside. I think they're meeting out of the old spaghetti factory, but they're also doing a lot of great fun things in Riverside. I know they in September, I wasn't here, but they had a tequila tasting at some sort of sporting event. So hopefully that covers the areas that are closest to you. And if any of you have any other questions about specific PIHRA chapters, let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you. We also have some specialty groups. So I want to introduce you to PIHRA Foundation. They are a separate 501c3 and they exist to raise funds to offer scholarships to the HR community, not just members. So if you are interested or are pursuing your HR degree, apply for one of these scholarships. Or if you are pursuing or interested in your HR certification, there's also a scholarship application for that. And maybe, or if you're a HR generalist and someone on your team, maybe a HR coordinator is interested in pursuing this, please share this with them. The URL is here and they're just a great group. They also have their own board. So that's another great opportunity to volunteer. And you're getting these slides, so no need to worry about getting this information to you. We also have a great group called Emerging Leaders. I haven't heard of any events coming up, so we're actually in the election process right now on the board level and at the chapter level. So at the board level, we have a couple openings at the executive level. And so I'm hoping that that kind of stimulates some activity with emerging leaders, but they have their own board. They exist to support the newly entered individual into HR or the individual who wants to make a mid-career transition into HR. And they would do networking events, usually once a quarter. Unfortunately, I haven't seen too much going on, but I'm really proud of this group because in 2015, I helped establish it and we won the SHRM Pinnacle Award for our work in this area. So that's another great group. Last group I want to talk about is the PIHRA Government Advocacy Team. I know I need to update this slide because there's a lot going on here. But if you're interested in legislative affairs and employer or employee advocacy at the legal level and kind of connecting with California congressmen, senators, and assembly people, this is the group for you. They have a chat coming up. I think it's on that list that I'm going to show you. And they get active legislators activated around certain hot topics in the employment law area, and just a really great group to be a part of. And they're also volunteer leaders. So I see some things in the chat. I'm going to pause for a second. Amy, South OC. Do you want to unmute Amy and ask that? Did you have a specific question about South OC?
Hi, yes, I was just wondering where the closest chapters were to South OC, or where I could find that information.
Sure. I'm going to have a list of meetings coming up, but South OC usually meets in Irvine. So our
Oh, perfect.
chapter is called PIHRA South OC, and they meet in the Irvine area. I think and it's going to come up in one of the last slides
Okay,
on September 28th. I think it's a Thursday evening. They're having a compensation workshop at PIHRA Hub. PIHRA Hub in Irvine. It's kind of like one of those workspaces with a nice conference room. And they're a really fantastic group. Amy, if you want to email me afterwards, me or Elisette can connect you with that group. They're fantastic.
would love
As
to. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. So many of you asked about seminars and conferences. I'm going to get there, but I want to highlight the top three member benefits. Again, I've talked about this already. Because we're local based, this is where you're going to build what I call your HR board of advisors, that group of people outside of your department. Now, as an organizational development consultant, I did work with a lot of HR, and I get it. HR can be a tough job. Sometimes, you're not given a seat at the C-suite. You're kind of, compliance oriented, or, you're dealing with a lot of sensitive information, difficult employees, and it can be kind of lonely. So I really want to encourage you. And what the pandemic taught me is like, don't do this by yourself. Build a community. Me and Raphael talk about this a lot. If PIHRA's not the community for you, I get it. I want that to be the community, your professional community, but just join some HR community, some sort of professional community, because you need people surrounding you to help build you up and for you to learn, what to do and what not to do. So for me, the lifelong relationships that you build at PIHRA are priceless. So um, being a member and connecting to members at that level is a way to do that. You're going to become an HR expert and increase your earning power. So this is where you're going to keep consistently learning at all the chapter meetings. I mean, wait till you see this list of chapter meetings that we have going on. You could earn recertification credit. If you're interested in becoming certified, we have fantastic HR certification prep classes. And if you're interested in that, I could talk to you a little bit more, maybe offline, because I know a lot of you weren't interested today about hearing about HR certification. But I got just quickly, I earned my SHRM SCP, and I immediately got a $10,000 pay increase. I know it might not happen to everybody, but on average, the statistics out there is that you could increase your earning by $20,000 per year with a HR senior HR certification. You're also going to save time and money because we have this fantastic online compliance center. It's called PIHRA Workplace. If more of you were interested in that, I would, although when I'm on Zoom, it's hard for me to go from application to application. But the PIHRA Workplace is here. Let me just go to the next page. It is powered by Mineral, so it's a separate partner site. So it can be a little clunky to get on there. Don't get frustrated. Email me and Elisette. We'll be on it. We'll get you on there. We know the tricks of the trade, so we'll get you on there. But on there, you're going to have an award-winning compliance center, which includes a handbook builder, hundreds of different employment law summaries, uh, we're talking here if there's an infectious outbreak or if you have kind of a whistleblower situation, they'll guide you through all that. So that's fantastic. Another great benefit that comes with that is you got access to an Ask an Advisor hotline or the HR hotline. You can call Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. as many times as you want. And that hotline is staffed by senior certified HR professionals. They're not attorneys, so please know that for legal advice, they'll probably direct you to an attorney, but they can kind of point to different documents that will help you start getting into compliance. So Great. And then what's fantastic this year is that with this, you'll get PIHRA Learn, which is an online enterprise-wide learning management system where you can create training tracks for your employees. And there's over 200 training modules included with the PIHRA membership. So it's not additional. However, if you want the mandatory sexual harassment training or the mandatory OSHA training, that can be a little bit more, but you get a discount as a PIHRA member. See something in the chat, so I'm going to pause for a second. All right, great. Thank you, Elisette, for sending that link. And wanted to tell you a little bit about our corporate membership. So if you have a large team or a team and you want to get some discounts, or even a smaller team of one or two HR professionals, we do usually our membership is individual, but if you buy a team membership for one or two, you get at least a 20% discount on the memberships and then some added benefits. If you're interested, we could talk offline on that. But we have HR team memberships for 1 to 2 to over 40 HR team members. So I wanted to let you know about that. And we do also have some online ways to connect through PIHRA Connect. It's kind of like a Facebook platform. And eventually, I hope, we're going to be hosting webinars on this platform. So this is just a great place to connect and ask questions in an online format to the other people on the platform. Again, I think I mentioned it looks kind of like a Facebook, and you could do polls on there. You could ask questions, and we have more than 1,000 people that are active on this community. So check that out. Volunteer. I can't emphasize enough the importance of volunteering. I think Oscar talked about it a lot. If you want to build your leadership skills, get recognized internally in your organization as a leader, volunteer. If you want to gain exposure within the local HR community because you want to build your career, volunteer. My philosophy it's not who knows you. Wait, no, it's not who you know. God, I'm messing up everywhere. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And when you volunteer, you're really demonstrating your work ethic to the community, the quality of your work, your ability to manage time and plan and things of that sort. So there are stats out there that the most successful people in the world, they're triathlon runners. They have a lot going on. So and they're able to succeed and manage that all. So like Oscar said, I know everyone's really busy, but think about where you're investing your time and if it's aligned to what your goals and values are. And PIHRA is just a really fun, low risk place to hone those leadership skills. So where am I at on time? Okay, I'm in the final stretch, and this is where a lot of you had questions. So if you have any questions that I'm not covering or something more specific you want to know about, let me know. So we have a lot, we exist because we provide HR education. I want to help you with your career in that way. I talked about the virtual learning. We talked about the chapter meetings. I'm going to talk a little bit right now about our PIHRA conferences. The one that's coming up right now is a California employment law update. And so I have a whole slide. And if you have questions about that, we'll do our best to answer that or provide some information afterwards. The California HR conference is our annual conference, and that happens in May. We're still confirming the date. We just had a meeting today about that. I'm thinking it's likely going to be at one of the Anaheim resorts near Disneyland. So if that's close to you, and it'll be in May, likely Tuesday and Thursday, the first or second week of May. So that is an exciting event. I could talk more about that. And then we have some other specialty programs like PIHRA Real HR, PIHRA HR Talent and Tech. And we just started a new series called the HR Power Series. And that is going to be focused on presenting topics that are current top of mind strategic topics and introducing you to the subject matter experts in those areas. So the one we just had on August 31st was on AI and how that's going to affect HR strategy, how to get started with HR, chat GPT, and how to use it in the HR function. So I see some things in the chat. I'm going to pause for a second. Is PIHRA affiliated with HRCI? No, we are affiliated with SHRM. However, we do have a relationship with HRCI. We work with them and are knowledgeable about their body of knowledge. We work with them to get our chapter meetings and our seminars and conferences approved for recertification credit. But HRCI is a separate organization, and I really think of them highly. They were established with SHRM, actually. They were more affiliated with SHRM and were established probably 40 years ago. So that's kind of the connection with HRCI, but we don't have any formalized agreement or collaboration with them. How does the employment law conference work virtually since it's an all-day meeting? Great question. Let's see, how does that work? I already talked about free webinars. I talked about HR certification. So if you are interested in certification, I want to get to this. This is coming up on October 24th. We're going to be on the 24th. We're offering it in person and streaming. And the in-person portion is going to be at the Los Angeles Marriott. Now, I think the way it's going to work is that at each time slot, we have 2 available sessions going on at the same time. And I believe that you're going to be able to select the session that you want to attend. Don't quote me because I'm not on the programs team, but if you want that confirmed, I can connect you with the right person. So basically, we'll have a general session in the morning, then we'll go to breakout sessions. There's going to be 2 sessions available each breakout, and if you're attending virtual, you'll be able to attend a session that you're interested in. But we are recording all of the sessions and all of the sessions. So if you've purchased the registration to attend virtually, after the event, usually like a week or 2 afterwards, you'll have access to all of the recorded content for up to 6 weeks. And I believe we have one more general session in the day. I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I hope, I think it was Mary Beth, I hope that answers your question. Do you want to unmute and ask a little bit more
Hi,
about it?
sure. What I was looking for was, I mean, obviously, I guess I need a schedule for it. I've already signed up for it for the streaming event for October 24th, but I guess I just need to know how to block my calendar because right now it's just blocking my calendar for the entire day from like, I think it's 7:30 to 5 or something like that. And I know that if it is going to be specific sections that maybe I'm interested in, then I need to know a little bit more info about that.
Yeah, so let me see if I could find, at least I think there's a timed agenda on the calendar. So let's see if we could paste that in for you, Mary Beth. And I will ask, I think we have all of the sessions confirmed. I just can't tell you when that is going to be communicated, but it should be coming soon. So, and then in a moment, at least Set will either send you the link to where that timed agenda is, because I think the first session starts at 8 a.m. and then the last session ends at 4:30 p.m. with the lunch break and all that. So we'll get that over to you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is what this event, the California Employment Law Update, used to be called the PIHRA Legal Update. This is what we're known for. We have some of the most fantastic employment lawyers attend. This year they're covering the hot topics like the California Privacy Act. Some OSHA stuff is coming down the pike. Wage and hours, always a big topic. And Paul Fleck from, I call it Ayler, but they're a law firm. I'm going to forget their full name, out of Cerritos, but they have offices throughout Southern California. Paul Fleck is fantastic. We also have a attorney talking about leaves, which is a big topic right now. And there's a lot going on. And if you are interested in what those specifics are, we could email you separately with that information. But this is kind of our cornerstone event. And we also, when you register for this event, you could also add in the California, what is the Cal Chamber Legal Law Digest for 2024. So we're pre-selling that, and that's just a Bible for a lot of the HR managers that I speak with. They need that because one of the women I spoke to last week, she said, yes, when a line manager comes to me with a great idea, I always pull out my legal law digest to see if there's a compliance issue related to that. So I hope to see you all at CELU. I'm almost done here. Let's see, I got a couple more minutes. This is a long list of things that we have coming up. So Long Beach, let's see, September 28th, we got the Ballast Point Social. So you'll see, Oscar, you'll be there. That's going to be fun.
Yep, I'll be there.
And also Rob Bolt, who's the chair of Gateway Cities, will be there. And let's see, I don't see anything for Inland Valley, but PIHRA Riverside on September 21st, they're having an event called the Need for Speed and Upskilling. That'll be really good. And South OC on the 28th in the evening, they're having a compensation workshop, like I said. And you could register for any of these and get more information for any of these events at the PIHRA calendar at pihra.org/calendar. I think I have a great chat coming up, and this is free. Along with, and I didn't say it was free. So on September 27th, there's a sponsored webinar on Medicare basics. And then on the 28th, it doesn't say it's free here, but it is. It's a chat. It's an interactive virtual chat with one of our attorneys from AILR, who the name is too long. I could never remember the last names, but she's going to be talking about the top 5 legal risks she's seeing in her practice right now. So this is a great time to ask her questions about that and maybe even get a little bit of legal advice for free. So are there any questions? We have like a minute or so. Any questions so far on any of what we've covered? Did you get what you needed from this? If not, this is your shot. You could unmute.
I have a question. If we sign up for the October 26th session in Anaheim, does it come with the membership as well?
If you're a non-member, yes, it comes with the
perfect.
membership. Yes, and it's a 12-month membership and you get a great discount. So usually the membership costs $175 for the first year, but when you bundle it with the California Employment Law update, it's only $150. So yes, just so you know, Amy, it's not automatic because when you purchase the bundle, it's through this other system. I'm sorry, it's not all integrated. So it may take a week or so before your membership is processed, but you can always reach out to me and Elisette and we could speed that process up for you too.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll email you then.
Oh, great. Any other questions? Well, I'm so glad you're here. And just know, don't get out there. Like I said earlier, join an organization. If you feel like, I don't know if I want to be a member of PIHRA yet, and I don't know if I want to make that investment, please attend one of these events. I challenge you, and I have to challenge myself. I have to set appointments with myself to reach out to a former colleague and invite them to coffee or to dinner or to do even something fun or to go to a social, because we all should be networking all the time. Don't wait until you're fed up at work or there is a layoff at work. Don't wait to build your community. So I challenge you to at least go to one event in the next 3 months. You see that right here. I can't even count. There's like at least 10 events in all Southern California. So just set a goal for yourself to attend at least one of these events. Connect with us online, join our LinkedIn. Usually we're pretty strict on the LinkedIn group. We don't really like a lot of aggressive sales on there. So if you're an HR practitioner, you'll be permitted in right away. If you're not, we will want you to become a member first. We're really active on LinkedIn. We're getting more active on Instagram. And then please connect with us at PIHRA Connect, because anyone can join that. And thank you. Thank you all for being here. I'll hang out a little bit more if you have any additional questions, but also always feel free to set some time up with me or Elisette so we can walk you through some things that may just relate to you. Thank you for spending your lunch with me. And have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. It's Friday. Yay. Thank you, Oscar, for joining. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yep, fantastic. Bye, everybody. I'm glad you joined. All right. I think I'm going to sign off now.
All right. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye,
for joining.
Elisette. If you guys can make it out to Ballast Point, stop by. It'll be fun.
Okay, I'll try.
Bye.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.